Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning to everyone. My name is John Melo and I will be your reporter for today. So let us delve deeper into this issue. So as you can see here, I am at the place of the event where the risk of overflow of the treatment water plant will take place in Bersih Water Shah Alam Selatan. So let's ask the people here for further information. Come and join me. Hello again. So as you can see here, together with me is the respective engineer that is responsible for the whole process in this plant. Okay, can you introduce to us about yourself?
Hi, my name is Mr. Robert William. I'm an Effluent treatment plant engineer.
Okay, Mr. Robert. So, can you tell us, is this plant is able to sustain from the upcoming monsoon season?
I can say that our plant is designed with safety and resilience in mind, and we have taken additional precaution for the upcoming monsoon. Our treatment unit, pumping system and also storage capacities are regularly inspected, and we continuously monitoring for patterns to anticipate any rise in water levels. We have also implemented preventive measures such as ensuring our critical equipment is protected, verifying that drainage lines are clear, and also prepare emergency response procedure in case of abnormal weather conditions. While extreme rainfall can always pose challenges, we are confident that with our current readiness and real-time monitoring, the plant is capable of sustaining expected monsoon conditions and responding quickly to any unforeseen changes.
I see. So, for my next question, during those time, what will be your role during those time?
My role during this situation is to ensure that the entire ETP plant system continues to operate safely and within compliance despite the heavy inflow caused by the monsoon. I will closely monitor tank levels, pumping capacity and influent quality in real time to detect any early signs of overflow. If inflow begins to exceed design limit, I will coordinate with the operations team to activate flow control measures, optimize chemical dosing and divert excess water to available buffer storage. I am also responsible for safeguarding critical electrical and mechanical equipment, confirming that emergency systems are functioning well, and communicating directly with management and environmental authorities if any risk of bypass or non-compliance occur. In overall, my duty is to maintain stable plant performance, prevent environmental impact, and support the decision making throughout the event.
I see. Thank you to Mr. Robert for your time and explanation regarding this issue. So to better understand this issue, let us uncover more deeply into the event of monsoon and flash flood. With that, I brought to you today with the experts to share with us more on the meteorological aspect of this case. We have here today with Mr. Matthew, the representative from the Malaysian Meteorological Department. So, Mr. Matthew, can you explain to us in detail what is a monsoon season is and how it affects us until it leads to flash flood?
If you're wondering what monsoon is, a monsoon is a seasonal wind pattern that changes direction every half year. In Malaysia, the northeast monsoon brings very heavy rain from November to March. During these periods, strong wind push moist air from the South China Sea towards our coastline. When the humid air rises and cools, it produces continuous and intense rainfall. When the rain falls faster than the ground, drains and rivers can handle, water starts to accumulate quickly. The soil becomes saturated, drains become overflow and rivers rise. This sudden and rapid increase in water level is what causes a flash flood. So what is flash flood? Flash flood can happen with very little warning because the water builds up in a short time, especially in the low-lying or urban areas. Understanding how monsoons work help communities and industry prepare for this sudden flooding event.
I see. So, from your perspective, how can we be ready for it and to avoid at all the worst disaster?
The best way for the company to stay ready and avoid the worst disaster is to rely on early weather warnings. Monitor real-time rainfall and act before conditions become dangerous. With advanced alerts, the company can quickly reduce inflow, secure equipment, protect electrical rooms, and prepare extra storage. Strengthening drainage systems, running regular drills, and keeping long-term rainfall records also help the company understand high-risk periods and respond faster. When accurate forecasting is combined with early action, the impact of extreme monsoon storms can be greatly reduced. All in all, we will always notify our government regarding this concern and come with some respective emergency response. So, at the end of the day, the decision will always on hand of our government, either to immediately react to this case or else. Thank you.
Fair enough. So let's just hope the explanation given by Mr. Matthew just now, we all can finally understand the root cause and the major risks that probably led to this kind of incident. So with that, I would like to say thank you to Mr. Matthew for your time and consideration to be with us here today. Thank you, Mr. Matthew. Okay, so since Mr. Matthew has mentioned about our government, so let us ask the individual mentioned earlier to see better in how the government's direction is in assessing this issue. So with that, together with me right here is Mrs. Jessica as one of the chief secretaries from the Department of the Prime Minister. So Mrs. Jessica, how are you today?
Hi and good day, Mr. John. Alhamdulillah, I am fine. Thank you for asking.
Okay, so Miss Jessica, can you share with us whether our government is fully ready to face this upcoming monsoon season?
Thank you, John, for the question. First of all, the Malaysia government constantly undertakes comprehensive preparation ahead of each monsoon season to mitigate risk and ensure public safety. These measures are coordinated through the National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, and also involve multiple federal agencies. For instance, we have close connection with the Meteorological Department, Met Malaysia, and the Department of Irrigation and Drainage, JPS, to issue weather advisories and flood forecasts. Not only that, but we also put efforts to inform citizens about flood risk, evacuation routes, and preparedness kits through various media channels such as the news, Instagram, and TikTok. However, the term fully ready is challenging in the context of natural disasters. The intensity and specific location of monsoon floods can be a bit unpredictable. While the government has robust frameworks and response mechanisms in place, the effectiveness and the response is often tested by the scale and suddenness of specific weather events. But to answer your question, yes, we have our preparation for each of these monsoon seasons.
So, Miss Jessica, what is the next step of action for our government in eliminating the possible risk of this issue?
For the next upcoming preparation and immediate action, the government of Malaysia will be establishing a dedicated safety and emergency response committee. This committee comprises of mainly four main key professional roles, which includes the effluent treatment plant engineer, environmental officer, finance officer, and operational superintendent. Each of these roles were tasked with collaboratively developing and executing an immediate coordinated response to mitigate the current risks and implement sustainable solutions to prevent further deterioration of the situation. To conclude, this committee is a proof of our government to showcase that we are serious in eliminating and reducing the potential risk of this incident before it becomes major disaster to each one of us. Thank you, John, for the question.
Understood and agree to not disagree. So with the last question that has been answered by our guest, so that will be marks the end of our interview session of today. So I would like to say thank you to Miss Jessica for the wonderful insight and clear explanation given regarding our government stances and moving towards addressing this issue. So for your information, this issue is a very serious matter, and our government has already proved to us that they are already trying their best to avoid the major incident disaster from happening. To all of our viewers, thank you for staying with us until the end. So stay tuned for the next update, and that is all from me. I'm John Melo signing off. Thank you.
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you for coming. Good morning.
Thank you so much.
So let's start our meeting for today. As everyone know, severe monsoon has overwhelmed the effluent treatment plant, ETP equalization tank, causing water level to rise dangerously close to the overflow point. So into the meeting, we must decide between temporarily bypassing the fault or cutting back on our production time.
The main problem that we will face if this does happen, the overflow will reach towards the electrical room. And once the overflow reach the electrical rooms, it will threaten the safety of our employees, and also our equipment will experience failure. And this will also eventually lead to risk of major safety in the workplace.
From a natural point of view, we must always follow rules. It is the most important aspect. So if we exceed the discharge limit, we must always explain the reason why, and we must always come up with the schedule for the recovery.
Okay, this is where I talk about money, about financial issues. The company will lose money right away if we cut back on production or shut down the business. There are a big cost for every hour of less work that needs to be cuttable.
For this issue, I think the major thing that we need to consider is the safety of our employees and also the protection of our equipment.
Yes, no matter what choices that we make, we must ensure that it comply with the government regulatory compliance.
Yes, it is important for us to take into consideration the financial impact of the choice we made.
Thank you, everyone. So before we make our decision, I will start with the technical update regarding the issue that we have on hand. So as of now, the equalization tank is around 95% of its capacity, and the monsoon condition have caused the stormwater to enter the system, jeopardizing the system coordination by increasing the inflow rate by 30% above its design capacity.
The best possible option that I can think of right now is to cut back the production to lower the inflow towards the effluent treatment plant. However, our output unit can be shut down immediately. We need to do a controlled decrease to ensure that the shutdown is done properly, and it may take time. That is why it is important for the employer like us and employees to work hand in hand to reduce the time taken for the shutdown to take place and also increase the efficiency of shutdown.
Yes, I agree with your opinions.
Not also that. I think bypass can also help to reduce this kind of issues. But we also need to know that the wastewater coming from our plant will go straight into the rivers. And this rivers is very important to the people surrounding that area. And not also that, these rivers were going to leave, this pollution is going to leave a very short-term effect on the aquatic creatures and going to impact with the people surrounding the rivers. So, if we don't have a proper handle on the skip, so it's going to lead to another environment issues.
Yes, I support with that. Besides that, by passing to the outfall, on the other hand, could lead us to fines for not following the rules. The supervisor could give us a fine. In short, a bypass may seem like a cheaper choice, but it comes with a lot of risk in the future.
Thank you, everyone, for your concern. So let me present to you the technical choices that we have for now. The first one, to use emergency chemical treatment. In this method, we can add polymer to settle things down faster and make the explanation works better. And second choices that we have is to try flow shedding from non-critical units, which means we can lower the flow coming into the ATP from places where the streams can be held briefly. And the last choice is to manage a bypass. This method will help us to protect the asset, but in return, the quality of the release will be worse than what is allowed for COD and also the TSS.
I think we should try first all of our other options. For example, we have flow shedding and emergency chemicals. So if these two choices are not working, then we can proceed for the bypass. If we do want to proceed with the bypass, we must always ensure that the bypass activity is kept at a very short and controlled process, and we must always monitor the water quality, and every single thing we have to write down the details, and also we need to alert the regulator right away. Because personally, I are not prefer using this bypass, but I understand that the safety and also protecting the asset is also important in this line of work.
I agree with what was said about the technical choices and the safety of the workers and stopping water near the electrical rooms are our main concern when it comes to the operations. Flow shedding and emergency does help to lower the load, but it will take some time for them to work. And even though it is not my first choice to use bypass, but I agree that bypass is so far the best option that we can do right now to keep our workers and also our equipment safe.
Yes, I agree with you. I am aware of the technical choices are. When it comes to finance, emergency chemical doses and flow shedding save us a lot of money and keep us safer. They cost money now, but they keep our reputation safe and keep us from getting any trouble in the future.
So from everyone's point of view, I think the best choice is to use emergency chemical doses. But emergency chemical doses must begin immediately to keep the system stable. Not only that, to lower the load, non-critical units should be moved or turned off for allow the shifting to occur. If levels rise regardless of efforts to lower them, a limited bypass should be set up to keep the system safe and also reduce the overflow as much as possible.
Yes, I agree with that. For me, this strategy equilibrates short-term and long-term financial risk.
I could not agree more with what the engineers and also the finance department say, because implementing the bypass technique is considered our final option, and safety can also be preserved through this implementation. However, if we fail to execute the bypass, safety concern will intensify within the plant.
Since we all are following and moving along a straight pathway, I think I will approve and compile a report to inform the regulator and upon the confirmation of the bypass activity.
Okay, so with that said, I think we can conclude our meeting for today. We have demonstrated how technical, operational, environmental, and also economical factors can impact the decision-making process. So that's all we have to discuss. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming today.
Okay, thank you. It was nice working with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Please come in.
Hi,
Hi.
thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Please have a seat.
Welcome.
Please have a seat. Thank you, everyone, for coming today and take your time out of your busy schedule. So, I would like to welcome everyone to our second meeting of the month. And as everyone knows, this meeting is held to further discuss and evaluate the respective preventive method that was implemented last week, and also to address the issue, which is the overflow of the effluent of treatment plant.
Thank you for continuing to invite me into this meeting. I believe my presence here hold an influential input in addressing this issue together.
Thank you too for inviting me and my team to this meeting. I will provide help as much as I can to further solve this issue together.
Okay, so let's begin our meeting. For everyone's information, the monsoon storm has increased the equalization tank up to 95% of its design capacity. And if rainfall continues to intensify, we may face a risk of an uncontrolled overflow. So we need alignment on our next step ethically, legally, and also practically.
95%? That's very close to overflow. The villager downstream area depends on that river for daily uses. If the spill happens, it will destroy the community trust towards our company. The community prefers transparency. They want to know whether we're taking any precautions and not hiding anything. What options do we have right now?
Based on our initial assessment, any overflow, even a control bypass, will push the COD and TSS above our permitted limits. This will affect the aquatic life and cause concern for the residents at the nearby river. As I mentioned earlier, this priority is following environmental compliance. If a bypass becomes necessary, it must be minimized, monitored, and recorded properly.
From the technical side, we already implemented emergency polymer dosing and also flow shading from non-critical units last week. But if inflow keep rising, there's a possibility that even this measure might not be able to prevent the overflow.
If by any chance the bypass becomes unavoidable, please inform me early so I can plan to talk about this matter to the village head and also the community involved. We have to reassure them that this is a controlled short-term measure and that the water quality monitoring is still ongoing.
I agree with the CLO. If we proceed, we must run continuous sampling downstream. I also will prepare the documentation and ensure our monitoring team is ready. Again, if a bypass must be the last resort after all other technical measures are attempted.
Once the team confirmed that internal mitigation is insufficient and the 10 level continue to rise, I will immediately file a notification to the DOE. I will also prepare the supporting documents, flow data, rainfall log, and mitigation action for our compliance report.
Alright, based on everyone's input, our combined approach will be continuing emergency chemical dosing, maximize flow shading, monitor tank level closely, and also prepare for an uncontrolled bypass, only if level continues to rise despite all this mitigation. If bypass is triggered, CLO will coordinate with the community, EM will handle monitoring, and regulatory affairs officer will manage DOE notification.
Whatever the decision you have made, I am ready. Just keep me updated on the timing so the community communication can happen smoothly.
I support this plan. I'll have the sampling team and compliance document ready from my side. Thank you.
I will stand by the DOE notifications. Let's ensure for documents everything for now on.
Okay, thank you everyone for your time. Then this concludes our discussion for today. Our decision now reflects the technical, environmental, regulatory, and also community aspect that we must uphold. So thank you everyone for this meeting today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you.